Hello, my dear friends and family. Operator.starsky here. Happy morning coffee, everyone. Today we will have a bit different stream because due to numerous requests that came from you, my dear friends and family, today we will not only review some of the crucial updates that actually yesterday I completely forgot about because we were talking with Paul and I forgot to tell you the most crucial one actually, but we will mention that in the end of this episode. But today we will talk about the deadly Russian martial arts and also some of the cases of Russians using the contactless combat. And you may be like, dude, really, Russian martial arts, contactless? Yes, my friends. Yes. So that's basically the ancient martial art that was born in Russia, and basically it's trained to Russian Spetsnaz, VDV, all sorts of Russian elite units, GRU, OMON, and other alcoholics. So we will talk about this today. But before that, I'm very happy to see you, Ellie and Newman, and Ellie is sleeping, I think. Newman and Katya and Paul and Garrett and El Rabito and Zolkan and everyone else, and Brigitte and Sarah. Oh my God, all the friends are here. Joel, Kaplan, Patskuli, Brigitte, did I mention you? Yeah, genau. All right. Let's dive in. I prepared just like a tiny list of the most cringiest ones that we will see today. So first thing you gotta know about the Russian martial arts is, of course, Petra, hello to the beautiful Netherlands, is that Russian martial arts must have different attributes, right? In order to be truly Russian and truly martial. Tim Lawrence, hello, and Matias, and like all the gang is here, right? Moki Morko and Pagonis, everyone's here, all right, so we're ready to go. Attributes of the Russian martial art. First of all, if you want it to be truly Russian and truly martial, you gotta have specific attributes, which include things like sabers, like hats stolen from Ukrainian culture, different camouflage, like this old Spetsnaz camouflage that was introduced in like 70s, 80s. And also it must be orthodox, all right? It must be completely orthodox. You gotta remember this one. If it's not orthodox, it's not Russian, doesn't work. Hello, John. Hello, Paul and Erin. Let's start with the most orthodox Russian martial art. That is called, I think it's called kAzAki's pass. I think it is. Yeah, so here is this one for you. So just so you could understand, I will scroll from time to time. So this is like Russians presenting their like ancient martial arts. You can see a lot of them are armed with sabers, all right? Because you have to be armed with sabers. If you go to war, you gotta have some proper weaponry, right? And And they gather together and they go like, okay, guys, what do we drink after this? Moonshine, vodka, or like window washer? It's very important to, discuss every single detail before you do that. Yeah, and then they start swinging their sabers like this. So you have to know how to do that if you want to be properly dangerous. You have to show how to twist that one. I did that when I was like 4 years old. I had like a stick. I was like beating the living crap out of like bushes, like nettle, and I was happy. And I don't know, probably I have this inside of me because generally speaking, I'm a Ukrainian, unlike them. And maybe we have this in our genes. Maybe I have, this strong connection with my ancestors as well. And probably they passed me, the secret knowledge of like, this ancient, ancient art of using your saber or stick or whatever. And despite the fact that music is actually kind of cool, I think that just in case, I will just use the one that I found. I think that it corresponds a bit more to this to what we're seeing on our screens. All right. So they are like rolling and twisting their sabers. People watching them with complete awe. What are they doing? What sort of magic is that? Look, those sabers are literally just flying around. Imagine they literally crush their enemies and grind them. That dude has like something else in his hand, like a whip or something. I don't know. Like imagine how many enemies they can literally grind into like ground meat with that stuff, immediately. Yeah, it's very, very important to keep your distance from your buddies because some of them can lose an eye or a finger. So let's scroll a bit, right? Because we are approaching something very, very cool. Like you see, they easily show this ancient martial art of beating each other. Like, oh my god, he fell down. Probably he slipped, all right? Like, you think that they just threw each other on the snow, but the reality is that it's very slippery because it's snow. There's plenty of ice and stuff because they generally don't clean their streets in Russia. And that dude even has a knife. Like, watch this. I wonder if it would save his life, like in a real knife combat. Generally speaking, like you can do that only if the opponent doesn't know what to do with the knife at all. Like if the dude literally touched the knife for the first time in their life and basically. Yeah, but those moves actually require a lot of time to actually learn because that's choreography. Like, oh my god, the dude has like an axe. Like, check this out. And basically, you will stand in one place holding your axe like that, and usually allow your opponent to do all that. But that's just like, guys, that's a small introduction. All right. That's a small introduction to make you a bit more acquainted with the Russian Orthodox martial arts, their secret teachings, their secret techniques that are used by the Russian. It was like 11 years ago, basically around. No, was it like 12 years ago? Anyways. That just to make you more acquainted, to understand what the Russian martial arts look like, all right? Because there are several necessary components. You have to have like all sorts of Orthodox Christian attributes, crosses, priests, people singing different things and stuff. And Greg, don't laugh yet, all right? Please, Greg, don't laugh yet. We're talking about serious business here. This one is the least funniest of all of them, all right? You gotta have sabers, you gotta have like axes, and also like hats, the fur hats that were snatched from Ukrainian Cossacks, because that's literally part of our culture, that Russians are wearing. I don't know. It's as if, like, all of a sudden, for example, during a reenactment, traditional reenactment in India, the guys would decide to wear like, Native American headwear, and like show off and say that they were always wearing that. Like, it's a completely different culture. I have no idea why Russians are wearing that and why they call themselves kAzAki. How do I, like, whatever, who cares? Okay, what's next? We have something even more extreme, of course, for you, my dear friends. And let's check out this one. So this one is kAzAki Spas. The video is called Working with the Powers, because this one is actually very, very much sophisticated. So they are working with their powers, all right? Again, the necessary attribute is, of course, the gym and the camouflage. Things that, generally speaking, not combined, because in the gym usually you wear like sports clothes because it's appropriate, they're like free and let you move and stuff like that. Camouflage, I don't know, maybe it's like they're trying to disappear, from the plain sight. Maybe they try to become invisible and camouflage themselves, but there's like not even a pot of plant growing in that gym, so I don't know why they're wearing that. Anyways, it's just like part of the Russian tradition, all right? So let's check out what they're saying. Again, so they do this. Yeah, so the dude explains that if you spread your arms like that, that is basically your field of power, all right? That's and the power doesn't go outside those fields. Please don't laugh, my friends. We're talking serious business. Russian military combat martial arts trained by Spetsnaz and everything else. That's some serious shit right there, right? So yeah. That guy, of course, the bearded one, I believe, I can already tell you his whole background. Born in Russia, raised in North Korea, where he learned all sorts of ancient Oriental martial arts, fought in Chechnya twice, and that's before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, but already 2 years after the beginning of the hybrid invasion of Ukraine. And he knows everything about powers. Just check out what he does here, because he's like, I will control your mind. Whatever. So he kind of grabs that dude's imaginary thread and just make him lose his balance, right? Like, basically that's what you do on the street. For example, someone attacks you and you go, dude, okay, can you please stand like this for me, if it's convenient, right? And then you just step back and make him fall down. Or for example, on the war. All right, like, for example, you're sent into a meat assault and you like walk toward your position or something, and you see a bunch of Ukrainians and you go, guys, can you please stand like that, all right, just for a while, and let me do my magic tricks. And then basically that's what's happening. Oh my god, poor bastard. That stuff is absolutely deadly, I tell you that. Like, look at that. Look what he does. Like, he literally... Oh my god. That dude is completely hopeless. I mean, he's like... And look at the guys watching them. they like, of course, none of those kids who sit there in the on that mat, none of them even ask themselves like, would our parents pay for this, right? Because of course they will. But that's just so you could understand what it looks like. And generally speaking, that's very, very popular in the Terrorist Federation. It was like that literally for years. And Andrew Knight, that's not magic. That's Russian reality, unfortunately. But generally speaking, I assume that alcohol actually does different things to people's minds and balance, generally speaking. So we will see something even cooler than that, my friends. But I was saying that it's actually very, very popular in the Terrorist Federation. It was always popular there. They did a lot of TV shows regarding that shit, and I remember so many times when I was a kid, and of course we had the cringy Russian television in Ukraine as well, and I was watching those Russian TV shows that were showing, like, the secret masters of martial arts and contactless combat that literally use their mind and manipulate the energetic fields in the area and stuff like that. Landos, I don't know if they can fly. I think only what was his name? Harry Houdini could do that, basically. And what was his name? The dude who made the Statue of Liberty disappear for a while. Anyways, sorry, I have a slight dementia tonight. But let's check out something even cooler, because actually I prepared a lot of stuff for you. So here we have like very, very typical and classic, Russian deadushka, there's like Russian babka, Russian babushka, and there's also Russian deadushka. Generally speaking, it's like when they sit together with the friends and have a drink, and then that deadushka suddenly says, "Did you know that I actually served in like NKVD?" And they're like, "No," and he goes like, "I can kill you literally with a butter knife right there. I know tricks, all right? I've seen shit, all right?" And deadushka stands up and starts showing his martial arts to those absolutely surprised, I don't know, guests, visitors. Yes, the sound is only on one channel as far as I can tell, but I think that you can hear it anyways. He goes like, "I'm not going to attack you, you are going to attack me," and basically boom, and he falls down. Oh my god, look at that. It's not contactless, I agree. Like, you have to literally hug your opponent's hand, your arm, all right, and pretend that he's falling down. Oh my god, just like that. And everybody goes, "Oh, such a small deadushka, such a tender person, elderly person, how can he do that? Oh, that's like an ancient secret of the Russian martial arts. That's very serious." So one of the explanations that, again, I can give to this is basically that alcohol damages your nervous system, right? Alcohol is very, very damaging to like people's balance, all right? So when you drink a lot, you start losing balance often because of that, and especially if you're like drinking at home, you have that shit happening all the time. I have another one, and I think you will love it because it features some of the very, very classical Russian characters, right? In the other video, you gotta absolutely love it. So, that dude, Dядя Vasya, Uncle Vasya, that deadushka, actually it is said in the description that he's actually like a veteran of the Russia's Great Patriotic War of 1941-1945. It's like, you know, when the rest of the world had World War II, Russia only had the Great Patriotic War that started a bit later than 1939, because generally speaking, Russians were allied with Nazi Germany before 1941, before they actually decided to attack them. So this one is actually cooler because that man is already joined by his fellow, and you can see, how do I fix the screen? You can see that he's wearing this absolutely classical Russian striped shirt, all right? Like, everything about this one is absolutely classic, my dear friends. So they look like a bunch of drunk people, which generally speaking they are. I mean, you will not be wrong assuming that they are fucking drunk. So the dude goes like this, and suddenly he decides to crawl, you know, under their feet, and basically they stumble upon him and fall down. Why didn't happen? My assumption is that apparently those two guys were absolutely drunk, and when the dude like sat down and crawled under their feet, disappearing from their field of view, they were like, where the fuck did he go? You know, because again, your reaction is a bit slower when you're not sober, and they look at him and they go like, oh, there's deadushka, and then deadushka sits down and they're like, what the fuck happened? You know, they lost the deadushka, and then deadushka crawls under their feet and like grabs them, and they stumble upon the deadushka, and again, because they're very, very drunk, they just, you know, tumble and fall down. This is how it works in Russia, generally speaking. So in Russia, you don't fight when you're sober. You gotta be very, very drunk. Let's see if they have something cooler to show. All right. So he's like, God, the hell is that? Oh my God. Anyways. Oh my God, what the I'm very, very sorry, my friends. I have no idea what just happened. So this one is actually, that bald-headed dude on the screen is actually extremely popular in the Terrorist Federation. He's very, very known widely in the Terrorist Federation. His name is Vadim Starov. He claims that he's the one training Russian Spetsnaz and all sorts of Russian secret services. I think they literally receive cookies for mentioning Russian secret services. Of course, Spetsnaz will not sue him for mentioning Spetsnaz, all right? And that is why basically they say that they're training everyone Spetsnaz among Russian cops and you name it, all right? So this dude is very popular because not only he shows how to like attack, how to defend, but also the secret art of the Russian contactless combat, and he's very, very professional at it. Just look what he does to people, all right? He's like, come on, punch me as far as you can. And the dude literally punches air, you know, like when you punch air, and generally, again, if you drink your whole life, if you live in Russia, of course you will lose your balance like that. I mean, like nothing special about it. But look,
вот оно понеслось, давай, реально работай, давай, все, давай.
Guys, you think that this dude will never get punched? Actually, I will show you the video where he gets punched for real, right? But what he does is absolutely incredible. The contactless combat, my dear friends, it only works I believe against people who are either sober or discoordinated or don't know how to punch generally.
Пошло! Вот, за родину, за Сталина, давай!
He says, for motherland, for Stalin. And he's so happy, like, look at that fucking muzzle. So I have several more videos with him because he's actually very exciting to see. I don't know. Wait, is it BUZA? Is it... no. I will show it in the end, all right? I will show it a bit later. So then, besides like spas and everything else, they also have this like ancient Russian style that is something between like dancing Russian cringy whatever, like dance, and attempts to combine it with martial arts. I have no idea, but it looks it looks kind of fun. So this one was actually a Russian TV show, one of those shows dedicated to like Russian martial arts. The show itself is called The Military Secrets, and this is something that they were showing, for example, in like 2009, all right, on the square Russian television. This so-called martial art, secret Russian combat style, is called BUZA. It doesn't mean anything, all right? It's just like gibberish. And look what they do to people. So again, the attributes, the attributes, basically, yeah, the attributes, the props, you gotta wear like lapti. Why are they wearing like actual shoes? I have no idea, because generally speaking, if you want to wear something like really, really Russian, you gotta wear like lapti, like those like boots made out of wooden bark. And look what they do. Like the dudes are like punching air, apparently, again, because they're drunk. And of course, there is a priest with an Orthodox cross, all right, Russian priest. And you can see this amazing, like, whatever, Russian kind of fighting or something. Those shirts that they wear, oh shit, he literally threw like an axe into the crowd on this video. Poor viewers, especially those sitting in like, you know, first rows. And there goes another one. How crazy is that? Yeah. So generally, this is how they train. They gather like in the gym. They dance, which looks absolutely cringy in my personal opinion. Maybe it's just like a type of their, you know, warm up. However, you know, considering the fact that the dude has like belly, like literally a beer belly, I don't really think that it helps much. So this is the Russian drunk style, all right? And for example, we will talk about the Russian drunk style because you know, for example, this kung fu style called the drunk monk, right? And that one actually looks kind of fun, while Russian look actually very cringy, and we will see it a bit later. What the dude is explaining here, by the way, in this video, because he was interviewed, and yeah, he's like explaining how to beat up people like Russian style. Yeah, so like you gotta like hold your opponent like this, all right, like hug his head like this, all right, and then just all of a sudden, if he doesn't watch us, you just go bam with your knee. What he says is basically...
На самом деле традиционно это учили в первую очередь с ножевого боя. То есть БУЗа начиналась с изучения ножевого фехтования.
Yeah, so he basically explains that the Russian BUZA actually started as a knife combat,
Но это было... И боролись, очень много боролись мальчишки на круг, кто из круга кого вы...
And also he says the boys were, besides fighting using knives, they were also fighting, they were also wrestling in like a circle on the ground. I think the life was really, really tough back then in Russia if the boys were like, you know, fighting
Вытолкнуть на лопатку.
using
Получится
knives.
такой состязательная, как бы тренировочная часть.
And whoa, and yeah, there you can see this person swinging something like Morning Star. I have no idea the hell is that. And playing balalaikas, guys, that is just so classic. You cannot imagine like Russian martial arts and Russian combat without playing balalaikas. How could I miss that? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Проходило во время традиционных праздников. В ходе вот таких игр. Держать удар и чувствовать баланс учились вот так.
So again, according to the masters of the Russian martial arts, this is like a game where you have to hold your balance, literally allow your ear to be fucking smacked by your opponent, and this is how you keep your balance. You gotta keep yourself sitting on the chair. All right, for example. You are getting mugged somewhere, all right, in the back alley, all right, in the sketchy Russian back alley. Generally speaking, all of their back alleys are extremely sketchy because when you look at them, you know, you have this impression as if a fucking dirty bomb exploded there. However, it wasn't bombed. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of bullies like literally approach you and they go like, dude, give us your money, give us your sneakers and stuff like that, and you go like, guys, let's fight, all right, let's fight properly, Russian style. And then you just find a fucking bench, you sit on that bench just like them, and then you just smack each other. I fucking love it. And also like jump over the rope, all right, oh, let's dance, you know, and Russian bullies literally start dancing with you, jumping over the rope. It's extremely cool. And also play football. You go like, guys, instead of giving you my iPhone, let's just play football and then decide whose iPhone is getting, you know, snatched, all right, and then you just play football. Yeah, so here they're like trying to... That one was actually realistic, my friends, because if you take a look what they're doing there, you can see like a bunch of Russians are trying to attack one single person who doesn't even have anything to protect himself. He's literally topless, and they just like fucking jump on him like a bunch of thugs and goons, and that's basically very much realistic. Like this one is 100% realistic. That's exactly what you see in the real life on the streets, and by the way, not only in Russia but also in other countries. So that one is like kind of interesting. That one is oh my god. And then they like push each other. However, like guys, if you ever saw two groups of football hooligans, for example, from Cardiff, by the way, I'm joking about Cardiff all the time, lovingly, because you know that I love Cardiff so much. But generally speaking, football hooligans from Cardiff are savage, all right? And if you saw them fighting for real, like two groups of football hooligans, they don't just, you know, push each other. That shit looks much tougher than that. So what else do they have? Switching from that cringy festival of Russian drunkenness and insanity, let's switch back to the gym, where they actually kind of show how to fight with knives. But one thing you will always notice, all right, in such cases, and especially in this case, all right, it's like when the dude who attacks the master, all right, the dude attacks the master, and then when the master like blocks his attack, the dude suddenly freezes because he didn't... Generally speaking, like when you attack somebody with the knife, you just like start poking him. But it turns out that if you attack somebody, then you like all of a sudden you get stopped and you freeze on the spot. You don't know what to do next, and your master like slowly and relaxed and just does whatever he likes with you. That's so amazing. Let's switch back and see what they do. And again, you gotta wear like those Russian boots, that knife. I bet he uses it to like cut sausage. I would do that. Wait, he was saying something very important here.
ГРУ семинары проходили, разных видов.
Oh yeah. I will be translating this for you because this is extremely important to know.
По новому разделу БУЗа сейчас тренируется больше сотни отрядов специального назначения разных ведомств.
So he says, more than 100 units of Russian special forces are learning our knife combat. All right, they are learning the Russian knife combat.
И для ГРУ семинары проходили, и для ФСБ семинары проводили, и для УФСИН, и МВД и так далее.
And he says, we did workshops for GRU, FSB, and all sorts of cosmic, magical, wizardry Russian troops that are available there at this point.
Бойцам спецназа Григорий показывает как приемы на уничтожение, так и технику задержания и конвоирования. Нож в умелых руках – точный инструмент.
So yeah, one thing that you should always remember is that like when you attack someone on the street like with a knife, you should always give your opponent opportunity to literally do something with you because your opponent never has a chance. So just stand like this for a while, all right, and let him show like his magic art that he can. Hello, beautiful Tallinn. Hello, my friend. Hello, building analyst. It's so good to see you. And Roman and James and Sirshum and Luke and everyone else and Tony. So let's continue with this one because it's just so cool, you know. I just enjoy watching that. So this one is actually Ryabko. So guys, this is serious shit. They have offices or dojo in the United States, all over the world basically, because generally speaking that slightly obese man on the video, the Ryabko, all right, like this one. This man is like he's not obese. He's full of he's full of knowledge. All right, he's actually very savage. He actually eats his enemies. So they decided that actually scamming their own compatriots is not enough. They can do that, for example, in the United States. They can do that. I don't know if they have their office in like UK, but in the United States they actually do. And here we have like a person that wants to look like a Russian priest actually telling, I don't know, actually sitting there and speaking about the energetic fight, the ways to control the natural elements in order to defeat your enemy and stuff like that. So all that text on the screen that you can see is that actually this one says the truth. They say that that's even cooler. So that's Russian church assaulting the SISTEMA of this I didn't expect it actually, assaulting this system because they say that it's pagan, all right, it's magical, it's pagan, and it goes against the church. But again, guys, nobody cares, all right, nobody cares. So what they're showing there?
вдохновительно. Занимается здесь даже духовенство. По всему миру уже открыто более сотни единоборств.
Oh, they show like priests also attending this SISTEMA. I will turn on the music, alright, because yeah, so this is another case of Russian contactless combat. Again, it's a very, very serious stuff. You can see that Ryabko, the founder of this SISTEMA, is literally doing crazy shit with people attending his workshop, attending his gym, his school. He like throws, energy projectiles at them, and I don't know why he steps like that. Like that's absolutely insane what he does there. And the dude is wearing like SISTEMA t-shirt. I think that it costs something, right? Oh my god, it's maybe when he does that, in front of his face and the dude falls down, maybe it's because he has something on his hand. I don't know, maybe like he went to the bathroom and all of a sudden he ran out of newspaper, so he accidentally, So we have plenty of like this contactless combat, and here the title, for example, says Ryabko, using his supernatural abilities, is trying to analyze the damage done to his enemy, right? I think he can like heal, he can eat planets and stuff like that. Like this dude is actually very, very very popular there. Just so you could understand, I actually saw a video of, Solovyov, right? The top Russian propagandist and stuff. The Solovyov is actually the one who attended this school. All right, Solovyov actually attended the school, and he actually had an interview. I think it's still on YouTube. He says, I will find it for you because I don't want, to repeat it myself. I will just find it and translate it for you, but it's kind of cringy. So I'm not sure if in this video there is... Yeah, David Copperfield. Oh my god, thank you so much for reminding. David Copperfield, how could I forget this amazing person? I'm not sure if this video they have like fighting while lying on the ground, because the dude that you can see on your screen, actually he looks like a person who likes to relax a lot, right? So, like here he's sitting on a chair, for example, and there's also a video that I saw myself with my own eyes of him like lying down on the ground, and there's a bunch of guys like, crawling over him and trying to do something, and he's like, sending like magical projectiles and throwing them around. I'm not sure if they have this on this video, because that would be really cool. Like what this dude is trying to do, I am not really sure. Apparently he's asked to attack him, and he looks hesitant, of course. Oh, and there's another magical projectile thrown at his balls, apparently, and he just slips and falls down. Do they have the fight on the ground? I don't know. Wait, what was he showing there? It's important. He's like, boom. Did you feel that? He's like, yeah. He's like, I have a heavy hand. He's like, yeah. Because generally when you look at Ryabko, you understand one thing immediately. Like Ryabko is a big, heavy, round dude. And his hands are actually very big. And generally, like, I apprehended numerous people during my service. And I can tell you that people like that, like round, low people, like low in terms of their profile, and round and heavy people, they're extremely hard to apprehend because their center of mass is lower than yours, and they're like big boulders, all right, like big stones. So that's one of the cases, and he's like punching this dude, all right, like, hey, you feel that? He's like, oh yeah, like, oh yeah. Yeah, I have a heavy hand. And he's like, yeah, you do, master, for real. And basically he explains, if you want to have like such heavy hands as I do, well, you have to eat a lot of shi, rest a lot, all right? Don't do sports because sports are for pussies. Just eat a lot, drink vodka, enjoy life, all right? Scam people. He's like, yeah, my hand is not as big as yours. And generally, yeah, if you compare like his fist against that dude's fist, that dude actually, oh my god, the dude on the left actually represents like myself back in, I don't know, 9th grade of high school. So what else do we have? Here he's like harassing women right there. Like, you feel that? She's like, yeah, you punched me. He's like, yeah, I did. She's like, fuck, it hurts. He's like, of course it hurts. Like, my fist is bigger than your fucking head. I think this one, it's like when they are learning how to fight while sitting, just, using their magical energy. And he's like, look what I do with my boob. And he, like, flexes his boobs and his shoulders, and basically people fall down. And this one is so cool because actually, I really hope that they have that like fighting on the ground, all right? This one was so cool, guys. Let's watch it one more time. He's like, like wobbling his, his body. They just fly away because, I don't know, maybe it's because it's disgusting. I have no idea. Maybe he's like all sweaty and wobbly. I don't know. But again, in Russian martial arts, you gotta use all sorts of advantage you have over your enemy. And here he is like, here he is like, I will just cut you with a knife and you will not do me like anything, It's so cool because it's like, it's not even self-defense. The dude is like, self-defense with the knife. You take knife and you literally cut your opponent. All right, anyways. He's like, actually, I know how it works. He's like, I will show you a magic trick. You take the knife, I take the knife, and you give me your phone, right? And he's like, Blaze tickles him, like with the knife. Like, look, your phone disappeared. Oh, this is so good. So next, what he does, he literally puts the knife against his head. And like rubs his nose a bit, and he says, because I watched this part, he says the dude will fall asleep really fast. All right, oh my god, this looks like Gachi Muchi to me for some reason. I don't know why. I cannot explain. Yeah, so he's like pressing the knife against like his forehead, his neck and stuff like that, and the dude literally faints. Which again is highly, highly realistic because, for example, when you meet a person on the street, and I can tell you that probably such things sometimes happen, Lando's more foreplay. So when you meet somebody on the street and like do that with the knife, like, like tickle someone with the knife, like press it against person's head and stuff like that, there is a high chance that the person will just faint, all right? Especially if it's a person that have never seen like a real bully or like a real criminal in their life. For you, Masek, sex with a knife tutorial. That's SISTEMA. That's SISTEMA, my friend. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue because this stuff is like it's extremely cool to watch actually. So yeah, that one fainted. Do they have anything cooler? He's like, I am going to stab you. And he goes pokey, you know. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna stab you. I'm just, you know, threatening you. And the dude is like, yeah, for sure, Master. He's like, you see, I can just like threaten you with a knife. Basically, this is how you lose your expensive sneakers, your phone, your car keys, and your money. That's he actually teaches people how to be a victim on the street, right? Like, you see this knife? Be scared. And the dude is like, oh, you know, like he like presses the knife against the belly. And the dude is like, oh, that's amazing. Russian martial arts, my dear friends. So what the fuck is that? That's like Aztec pyramids on the background, plus some Greek Orthodox churches, and plus some Orthodox churches, like Orthodox churches, and the dude wearing like that's oh my god. Okay, let's move on. So again, we are returning to our bald-headed friend, alright? The contactless combat of Vadim Starov. This dude is so cool. So, like, look what he does to those people that are punching air for some reason that they cannot explain. My God! Whoa! So many at once. Look! Yeah. So, Vadim Starov, again, a couple words about himself. If you watch his videos, he basically tells that he trains everyone. He trains Putin, he trains Putin's guards, he trains the guards of Putin's guards, he trains Russian Secret Service, Russian Spetsnaz, of course, and everything else, and they call it the Russian style. Ruski, whatever is written there on the background. And of course he does the contactless combat, like look what they do. So this is amazing, and you see like there's a bunch of like freaks. I think that basically he's like sex puppets or something, and they all fall down because when he tells them to lay down, they lay down. This one is actually fake because that dude wearing like boxing gloves, he's not a boxer, even though in Starov's video he's like referred to as like professional boxer. He's not. He's actually one of the guys attending his school. All right, and he shows like how his contactless combat works against boxers. There is a reason why he did that video, and I will explain that reason a bit later for you, my dear friends. You will be impressed, but this one is just so good. So what else? 3 gimps at the same time. Yes, JM. It's impressive to see that. I mean, like that's. That guy, he can select, all right. So now he is like, I don't know what kind of foreplay is that. That is literally something straight out of Gachi Muchi. I tell you that. I'm not a big fan of Gachi Muchi, but I know something about it. Yeah, so now he rubs his back and stuff like that, and like makes him relaxy and comfy, and then he just falls on the ground and oh my god, what are you doing? We cannot show that on a YouTube, man. Please get out of here. And there is another episode of the same guy. I'm showing this for you, to you, my dear friends, because After that, I will show you some specific video that was made a bit later. Yeah, so his combat style martial art is called Russian style, all right? Which, again, I think doesn't really correspond to the reality, because Russian style is basically gopnik sitting somewhere in the backyard with like 2 bottles of beer and taking a dump in like on a children's playground in Tomsk. That is Russian style. This is Russian scam, I would call it this way. Yeah, and again, if you take a look at that banner, all right, you will see Jesus Christ, you will see Russian Spetsnaz, you will see, I don't know, warriors of the ancient Atlantis who, of course, were like Russian people. That is so cliche, but again, it's very, very classic. Yeah, so again, this dude is punching air, and basically Starov is very, very good at showing what to do with people who punch air, all right? Like how to move, you know, against the people who punch air. And again, the attribute that you cannot unsee, right? The constant attribute is, generally speaking, gym, a pair of like skater shoes or something like that, tennis shoes, camouflage, and here he's even wearing like a uniform of Russian police, fighting against some of his sex puppets there in the grass. There on the back, I think that is a logo of like Russian military intelligence or something like that, military reconnaissance, and I wonder if on that uniform that he was wearing, I wonder if he had like something like patches showing his rank or whatever. Anyways, so you've seen Vadim Starov literally throwing people around using his powers, using his magic abilities. Apparently, of course, they were all drunk and stuff like that. But now you will see the sparring, which wasn't like true contact sparring, all right? Because he was punched literally a couple of times. Or maybe he just cut, you know, the rest of the video footage. But actually, he challenged one of the Russian, I think he's like Ossetian or Dagestani, I don't know. One of the Russian kickboxers for an actual sparring. And let's check it out, shall we? Because that one is, like, if you are asking yourself, how real is that? How real the contactless sparring is? How real the contactless combat is, all right? What if? No. All right? No. It doesn't work. No, my friends, no. It's impossible. David Copperfield is more realistic than contactless combat. And the reason why people do that is because they want a magic pill, right? They want to be more confident, they want to be stronger, they want to be able to throw magic bullets and projectiles and kill their enemies with like mind powers, but they don't want to go to gym and train, all right? No, it doesn't work, all right? Trust me. So let's check out this one, because that is Batu Hastikov. That is like famous sparring against, you know, and that dude is actually legit. If you can see, he's like a legit kickboxer, all right? Let us hear some sound as well. And then, like Batu Hastikov showed something that he can do. And then Starov shows what he can do. He can, you know, make people punch air, and you know, and this one is so cringy. Hastikov was like, "The fuck is that?" So they start kind of working. Hastikov, I think he was asked not to punch him bad. All right, I think. So first punch past some kick and stuff, and you immediately understand that the contactless combat doesn't work for some reason. Whatever you do, and actually that Vadim Starov, like, look at his stance, I don't know, I haven't seen anything like that. Even in the most brutal Turkish porn movies, I have not seen stunts like that, and I've seen them a lot, unfortunately. Batu understands, of course, that apparently, Vadim Starov is not completely helpless. He's tall, he's big, right? And the dude is like, okay, that's it. So that's like one of the evidence that, guys, that shit doesn't work, right? Several times he was actually challenged by different people, different YouTubers, including YouTubers who actually like do martial arts and stuff like that, including that Starov, and he was also challenged by Russian journalists. So I found very interesting thing about that. I found very Snow Chain Simon. Hello, what the fuck are you looking to online? Secrets of Russian martial arts, my friend. Secrets of Russian ancient contactless combat. So I found a very interesting thing when journalists, like Russian journalists, all right, when they challenge, for example, this Starov, and they want to feel, that the influence, the real influence of like contactless combat, they just fly around the whole gym and stuff like that. Generally, if it's some kind of unfamiliar journalist, like just a journalist who wants to attend the training, and he asks, like, can you like make me like fly away? Can you do your contactless stuff on me? Starov actually says, no, I cannot. I cannot because if I do that, if you are not prepared, that's extremely dangerous for you, and I can literally kill you, and you will have problems with your kidneys and with your internal organs. And they basically say the same to like bloggers who want to challenge them. The bloggers go like, can we have like a real sparring, and you can show us like your magic stuff? And they go, no, we cannot. We cannot because you are not prepared, you are not trained, you have to attend my training, you have to sign into my school, and I will teach you how to protect yourself, all right, from my supernatural abilities that actually you can develop as well to kill your enemies. And if you do that, we can talk about that. 1 year, 2 years of practice, and you will be prepared. And besides that, no, unfortunately, if you are not prepared, I don't want to. And it's like one of his actual interviews. He was explaining this to the journalist. The journalist was very incessant, very like, he tried to persuade him to actually do some kind of magic, all right? He was like, I swear I will not sue you, just show me. And he's like, no, I don't want to take this sin. I don't want to take responsibility and literally kill you with my mind bullets because it brings a lot of damage to your body, unfortunately, and I will not risk. Let's switch to another one because we still have a lot to show. And of course, we gotta mention the master of the style of eagle and snake, Tschkaryok. Tschkaryok? Fuck my life. The words, like, why I'm laughing like crazy here is because word Tschkaryok sounds very funny actually in the Russian language. It sounds like a mix of like, this prisoner slang, Tschkaryok, and some street gang speech. I don't know. The word is funny, generally speaking. That's already why I'm laughing like a madman. Okay, let's check out Tschkaryok, because this one is actually legendary. For example, this video on YouTube has like 62,000 views. It was published like 6 years ago, but anyways, he has almost 32,000 subscribers actually, and a lot of people follow him. So in this video, the Grandmaster is showing how to use not only his secret kung fu, but also like weapons, all right? Ouch, that must have hurt. All right. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. All right. Oh my. Fuck my life, seriously. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys, I gotta stop. Wait, wait. Okay, pause. All right, break. Let's just rest. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this one. Oh Jesus. I watched several seconds. All right. Link. I'm throwing links straight away. I'm throwing the link straight away. It's just. Oh my god. Like, I watched several seconds, you know, when I selected this video to show you guys, but for that, like, I wasn't prepared. It's just so terrifying. Oh my god, it's so terrifying. Literally, my stomach hurts. Again. Oh, I just need to calm down a bit. Oh my god. Okay, let's continue. I should watch this until the end. All right, I should. It's a must. It's a challenge. If you laugh, you if you laugh, you lose. He says, what the he says, from here we take another gun, we like switch the safety, right? And I'm looking at that shit and I'm thinking, like, what sort of safety? So first of all, What sort of safety are you talking about? It's a fucking revolver. Second of all, why do you need a separate hand to remove safety from your fucking, even if it's a handgun? Why do you need another hand to remove a safety? I shit you not, people. I saw literally like military, all right, doing that with a single finger. I don't know, maybe like Russian handguns are just so tough that you need to fucking fist to remove the safety, right? But I saw that done with a single finger. You don't need a separate hand for that, but why? That's basically how you aim. Oh my god, my voice is so fucked up already. This is how you aim. Like you not only like twist your gun like that, so like the recoil. Okay, fuck that. But you should also cover your head. You know, it's dude. I will kill you, but I just it makes me cry. Oh, this is so good. Like this one is so good. There's video of him like doing nunchakas and stuff like. What the fuck is that? Oh my god. Oh. Tschkaryok turns out to be funnier like than I thought, than I initially anticipated. I admit. But shit, like okay, guys, all right, tell me this, okay, those who are acquainted with like martial arts, with tactics and shit like that, why are you trained not to cross your legs like that? All right, why do you have like wide stance generally? Why are you trained to keep your legs as wide as possible? Like, who knows the big mystery behind this in like classic martial arts? Let me know in the chat, all right? Because that is just oh wow. Sometimes I just think like maybe it's some kind of that kick was painful. I tell you that because if, for example, he aims at your like butt cheek or like your balls, there's a big chance that he can like actually slap you very painfully with his like foot. Oh my god, this is so perfect. Oh, okay. Okay, I admit, it was better than I anticipated. It was much better than I anticipated initially because I couldn't understand like the whole spectrum of damage done by, you know, consuming alcohol by this gentleman for so many years, because we can tell that he's probably in like his 30s, maybe 40s. I mean he's Russian. But the way he showed his technique is just so perfect. I didn't expect it, seriously. I actually anticipated a very serious educational video for you, my friends. All right. Newman, that's not Makarov Jitsu, that's like Nagan Jitsu, I think. Because he's with a fucking revolver. All right. Okay. Let's continue. Let me just breathe a bit, because I have this ticklish feeling in my lungs as if I was hit by some of those imaginary projectiles. Whew, all right. I'm ready. Let's prepare. kAzAki's Pass. kAzAki's Pass. Again, ancient Russian martial art. The dude in this video explains that.
Главное оружие казака, которое имеет символическое и чуть ли не священное значение.
Yeah, so Yes, of course, we have all the necessary attributes. You can see those like BDSM uniforms. You can see the priest, of course, in the Orthodox Church. You can see the priest literally baptizing their sabers. The dude explains that this video has magnificent 242 views. Oh my god. Let's give it one more, all right? He says, oh my god, what the fuck is that related video? Masturbation, does it protect or destroy your prostate? I gotta add it to my to my watch later list, definitely. Okay. The priest is baptizing the sabers, all right? Of course, when Russian kAzAki go to, for example, war in Ukraine because they need toilets to snatch and stuff like that, of course, most probably they take their sabers with them. I have never seen them taking sabers, frankly speaking, but maybe they do. Maybe there's something I don't know. And actually, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad walking around with a saber, looking for an enemy with the saber and finding none. Did I tell you that that story when the guy from Azov, my friend, was at a position with a heavy machine gun with deadushka, and the Russians on the other side, they were celebrating the 9th of May, the Victory Day. And all of a sudden he hears like, "Hey, ha-holes," you know, from the other side. And he looks into the archer, that thermal sight that we have. And he sees like a lonely figure crossing the field, and like Chechen, like not Chechen, Kadyrovite. And apparently because he was drunk, again, very, very old myth that Kadyrovites don't drink. Maybe some hashish was involved, I have no idea. But he was basically crossing the field, and he was like yelling, he was challenging a Ukrainian soldier for a fight, you know, and he's like, "Let's wrestle, I will break you, let's wrestle." And so eventually he wrestled with like several 50 caliber bullets, which literally tore him apart. And that's basically the end of his story. And I think that with the Cossacks it's the same. It's like you take a saber, and you know, like you're the saddest Cossack on the front line because there's no one to challenge for a saber fight.
Недостоин ее. В старину говорили, шашку без нужды не вынимай, без чести не вкладывай.
So the dude is, talking shit about the Russian sabers. What do they have here? Here they have like a bunch of Russian BDSM. Okay, like deadushka playing, babushka dancing. What the fuck is that shit? Russian traditional songs and singing and stuff like that. The dude... What kind of, what kind of rank is that? Because generally speaking, from what I know, they won't accept you if you're not a general, at least, all right? If you're not a lieutenant general, at least. But you will get the rank if you're accepted. Why? Oh my god. Zona отдыха. Wait, I gotta read this one. Zona отдыха. That is like a resort of a historical cultural type called Казачья Застава, Cossack camp. Okay. All right, let's see what they have. They have, of course, camouflaged dudes wearing beanies. They have like horses. They have all sorts of sexual pleasure there, my friends. You think that they just look like losers? They are not. Trust me. Okay, they have another priest. Basically, what they do all the time is literally standing, all right? It takes a lot of courage and actually patience to be like Ruski Kazakh. I tell you that. Again, you know, they're like... what the fuck is that, dude? Beautiful Russian nature. Fuck, I already want to just do something bad with me when I look at that, you know, image of beautiful Russian nature. And that's generally speaking, that's like Russia over there. You go there and it's so depressive because they're trying to... Fuck, what are you doing? Oh my god, why are you assembling the AK like that? Just fucking punch it. Oh my god. All right. Will they have some actual fight? That's something that I want to know because Spas... yes, exactly. They have... The dude is like, go, push, motherfuckers, or I will, like, slap you with my saber, and they go like, yay. And again, for some reason, those kids are wearing, like, those old school Russian camouflage that comes from, like, 70s or early 80s maybe. Why? What's wrong with them? Okay, here we can see some action, finally we can see some action, and they show just miracles of, like, martial arts. Alright, at least they have some protection. Look at this. The fuck is that? Oh my god. Why do you walk like that? Shit, for real. Oh, he receives a medal. I think he receives a medal for perfect marching, alright? Alright, okay. Look at those faces. Actually, they looked bored because they already anticipate, you know, that party that they're gonna have tonight. You know, like vodka, like the kids will go to bed, the elderly will, like, close themselves in, like, one of those huts, get some moonshine. Of course, there's, like, saber play, the horse play, again, running towards each other, like, alright, at least, you know. Oh fuck, dude, be careful! Don't cut your toe or something like that. Yeah, dragging the rope and this one is good actually. This one at least knows how to march, how to goose step. So, do you want to watch a video about the prostate? Let's do it some other time, all right? Oh, all right. If you thought that you've already seen everything, my dear friends, you should prepare. I should probably take a puff because I cannot watch it, you know, unprepared. I gotta drink some coffee and take a puff because the next one will fucking destroy your world. I guarantee. All right. This one will shred you to pieces. I swear. Couple words about the person you are about to see. Vadim Shlakhter. Vadim Shlakhter. So, I don't know how it works in your countries. What works in Russia, for example, and by the way, in Ukraine as well. At least we had that shit before the war. So, guys, you can take a small rest, all right, small break, because I will explain you the stuff before you start laughing, because you will need a lot of oxygen, all right? So, like, warm up a bit, breathe, all right, expand your cavities and everything else, because you will need that. What works in Russia, what worked in Ukraine, I don't know about your countries. I'm sure that you have something like that. So, for example, there's a bunch of people who lack confidence, all right? For example, like a bunch of men who, like, I don't know, some kind of middle manager, all right, working in the office. He's very confident. He never had a girlfriend or something like that, and he wants to like increase his self-confidence. There are guru like Vadim Shlakhter, who tells you that I am doing survival courses and I turn like bitches like you into a real alpha males, and you will be like, alpha is already like old school, like I will make a sigma male out of you right there. And he starts like humiliating his students. He then teaches them some cringy shit, like, I don't know, like when you look at the chick, all right, you gotta like, you know, like move your tongue, like, you know, like roar at her as if you're like a dirty animal, and she will feel this masculine power coming from you, and like she's yours. I can do like, I don't know, like 15 chicks a day, like that. That's what they teach actually on their courses, and it's so fucked up, my friends. It's just so fucked up. So this dude does courses like those. I shit you not. When I worked at the TV channel, it was like 2011 with my friend. My friend almost convinced me to actually start such courses, because he said, like, we can actually make a lot of money by scamming people like that. But thankfully, I was, you know, too honest to do that. But generally speaking, you can do, like, if you want to gain a lot of money very, very easily, you can actually create your own courses, find a lot of losers like that, and actually train them, like show how to defend yourself using your mind power and stuff. This dude is showing just that, and I picked specifically video dedicated to self-defense, because in this video he actually shows how to self-defend. I tried to find the whole video, and SP, please give me a second, right? Before I show it. Guys, I'm warning you, it will kill you, okay? So I wanted to find the whole video of this cringe. I couldn't, even on his channel. So what is available today, what survived in the archives of the internet, is basically a bunch of compilation. We need a good soundtrack. All right, let's have a soundtrack and let's watch it, because it's time. It's time to tear you apart, my friends. The quality is, of course, this is the battle dance that he is showing. Okay, this is the battle dance. This is how you kick your enemy. For example, when you stomp, you stomp to show that you are a powerful alpha male, powerful creature. I know that quality sucks. I cannot do anything, you know, to save it. And this is how you kick your enemy. This is like you stand against your enemy and you see him and he says like, you gotta have like, does he say about the knife? No. Yeah, he says, you gotta take a knife and cut him like this, up and down, left and right. And he says, you should also combine this with kicks, alright? And he basically shows this on a tree. Okay, so he says you kick him like this, and you also cut the living shit out of him. And so you combine, you kick and you slash and you kick. And it's actually very, very painful. And here he shows how to do that with his buddies, all right? I don't know, you might be hysterical right now, but I'm not laughing for some reason. Probably I burned out. Yeah, so this is very important. This is a battle dance. He goes like, remember back in those times when we were wild and lived in the caves? We had a battle dance. And I developed a special battle dance that you can do with your buddies and scare the living shit out of other people. It's scarier than Haka, I shit you not. So he's like, in the battle, when facing your enemies, you gotta literally dance like this and, swing your knife and scream like, we cannot be defeated. And he also shows that you can also have that baton and you can also use it instead of knife. For example, you have a stick and you can punch and kick like that. Oh, and this video is saying, with the naked torso. This video, the title is saying, "Killer of cops who doesn't have mercy." All right, the uber human, the trainer, the coach of heroes, and the murderer of cops. And of course he trains cops, of course. I mean, if you... but guys, let me check out the comments because... guys, please breathe, all right? I beg you, breathe, my dear friends, breathe. And it looks funny, I agree, but it's like for real, this is what they teach people. Tony, that was, I warned you. So if you hear his like speeches and if you watch his videos, of course he tells that he's training like special forces of the Russian Federation, Spetsnaz, cops, OMON. He trains cops how to kill cops in his imagination, of course. But generally he's like, Katy, I'm so sorry. I warned you once again. I warned you. You need air. Please breathe, my friends. So, Bridget, that's like all those videos are full of sexual energy that is just overwhelming. I agree. So, that's like Vadim Shlakhter, and he actually teaches Russian men how to be alpha, how to be sigma, how to be like macho, how to be like strong and powerful, how to be like heroes, cop killers and things like that, especially if they're like cops. He has like different courses. He's like he shows you how to fix your posture, all right, how to look menacing, how to win women or men if you like, but generally women, all right, because you're a dude. And do you want to see that dance one more time? I fucking do. Alright, like this one is just so good. So this is how you slash, this is how you kick, alright? This is how you kick and slash. And of course you can do that with your buddies as well. The quality is so shitty as I don't know, Russian progress on the battlefield. That's basically it. And that legendary dance, of course, is just so amazing. I mean, that's just so good. Because there is a soundtrack instead of like the original sound, right? The voice, but generally they scream something like, "We are warriors, we cannot be defeated." If you are getting mugged somewhere, oh my god, let's watch their final dance with baton. So generally, if like you're getting mugged somewhere, in the sketchy alley, of course. When you start dancing like that, I believe that it might scare somebody, right? It might actually like terrify your enemies. For example, if I was still in service, all right, as a cop, and I saw that on the street, that would actually, cause me to consider using a backup, real, like big time, all right. Benny Hill music missing, so it works very well with Benny Hill music because I watched some other, like actually Russian YouTubers showing that to the Benny Hill music and like crazy saxophone. It just works very well. So I think we all need to breathe just a bit, all right. I will check up your commentaries in the meantime. Work, you motherfucker. You just worked so well. Anyways. Oh, okay. Smoking's bad. Do we have something more? Oh, fuck. Oh my god, we do. So, I'm not sure if I should show you like vibrational battle, because I need to Google it and the quality is even worse than that, alright? So there is a different Russian style among the Russian freaks of the K-Bell. I know, I think I punctured my lung with my rib accidentally. Hello to the beautiful Louisiana, hello. So, I'm not sure if I should show you that one, because like we need to Google that maybe the other time. Okay, and it's already taking so much time. But there's like this style called vibrational combat. And when you think vibrational combat, of course you imagine something like, something 18 plus. But generally there's like a dude who actually who teaches Russians that he learned the old ancient combat, ancient martial art of ancient Hyperboreans, and he teaches Russians how to do that. He pretends that he has some kind of degree or something. I don't know. Oh my god, my stomach hurts so bad right now. But let's save it for another time, all right? Not the vibration. Okay. I will not torture you with that one. What I will torture you with, my dear friends, is this. This is Sama. Fuck, he even says, like, your biology is a weapon. I shit you not, like, if you eat a lot of shit and then, you go to bed, there is a high chance that all of your roommates will eventually die because of your biologic weapon released while you sleep. But this one is called Bely Samoryad. You need to hear this with the sound, all right? Because you will understand why.
Пошел. Стоп!
These guys are legendary.
Нет, давай.
So it's like if you have like a younger brother, all right, you can actually learn this shit in order to slap the living crap out of your younger brother. For example, if he's disobedient, if he like steals your like PlayStation or something like that, you can use that for real. That's like looks actually absolutely menacing, in my personal opinion. If you are trying to bring some fresh feelings, for example, in your sexual life with your partner, and especially if you like things like, you know, like slapping and stuff like that, that's for you. Actually, you can subscribe to that channel. That actually has it has 1,500 subscribers and 1 million views, like this very video. I think for reasons you all understand, but if you want to introduce something new, something fresh, if you want to refresh, you know, your foreplay or something like that, so you can definitely introduce like something like that, right? Don't kick much, all right? Don't kick much, because generally speaking, kicking is dangerous, okay? Oh my god, he's so flexible. Jesus Christ. You could break your fucking leg, dude, be careful. I mean, you're not fighting for real, come on. So yeah, so you can learn slapping like this, this specific technique, right? Like this one. Like this one. You can actually practice this with your partner. I think, I don't know, I wouldn't try it because I'm not crazy, but if I am, if like I feel very, very bored, like both of us, we might try. Oh my god. What else? That poor piece of paper. So like if you attend things like Taekwondo, for example, and you break like those wooden pieces of wood, right? If you slap, you gotta tear the paper. That's absolutely impossible to do, of course. Like look at this huge hole he made with his finger. Like I don't know. That was probably painful, I think. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Not as cringy as Tschkaryok, and definitely not as cringy as, for example, Vadim Shlakhter, his battle dance, I admit. But still interesting to learn about the Russian martial arts, Russian secret styles that fake Adidas, Newman. That's not even Adidas. I think it's something like Abias or Abibas, for example. But again, it's a Russian style. I mean, if you're like training, if you're studying things like that, you gotta wear either Adidas or like kazachaya shapka, that Kazakh hat, or shapka ushanka, or things like that, or camouflage, for example, with sneakers. Absolutely. God, I don't know. I think we have. Yes, we have another one. And another one. All right, okay, guys, 2 more, okay? Let's suffer just a bit longer. Let's rest just a bit, because I will actually show you some of the Russian contactless gambits one more time. Of course, I mean. This one is, again, it's very, very classic because it features like Russians wearing camouflage, Russians wearing those striped shirts, knife, contactless combat, Spetsnaz, and all those attributes. Whew. You probably noticed that I stopped vaping during the streams, but I just I need this puff, all right? I need it. Because in just a second we will witness some of the recent, all right, some of the recent cases of the Russian contactless combat. This one is Tver 2006, Russian style. If it's Russian style, I think it's like related to Starov, maybe, I don't know. You can see like this sneaky Russian sneaking with a knife in his hand and just boom, and he sleeps. And the reason he sleeps is because like when you drink 1 liter of moonshine or like a bottle of window cleaner, that's basically what you can expect. You lose your coordination big time. Like look at this. Look at this. Россия. Русский стиль. Russian style. Fuck my life. Oh my god. So, the dude is literally fucked right there, because you can see that he's helpless like a toddler on the skating, on the ice skating place, right? Why does he do that? I don't know. But apparently, like if you have this alcoholic addiction, you know, from drinking a lot, especially if you live in Russia, that's literally what you can expect. A lot of strange things will be happening to you. And I promised to show you some more Russian kAzAki, right? The one that is like wearing camo and like dancing with sabers. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the original video, so I kind of snatched this piece from a different blogger, right? He has like millions of views. I think he doesn't care. And this one is actually features like those Russian kAzAki. But what I forgot to mention is that they are not just kAzAki, they are характerniki, kAzAki характernики, which is like part of Ukrainian folklore snatched from Ukraine by orcs, all right? Because they don't have that shit. We have that shit. In like our folklore, we don't consider, because we're sober and grown-up people, we don't consider that like combat, martial arts and shit like that. But Russians literally consider that like, you know, mysterious Russian combats, ancient arts of destroying your enemies with the power of nature. Whew. Let's check out the last one, and I swear that will be it, because I cannot laugh even anymore. I'm just tired of laughing. This one I removed the sound in order not to traumatize you. And you can see this dude dancing with the sabers. Basically, like if you go this one was good, all right? This one was good. Like, imagine you are, for example, like, I don't know, facing an armed enemy somewhere, right? He goes and the enemy is like preparing to attack you, for example. I don't know, armed, unarmed, doesn't matter. You go like, one moment, you take your knife and like stand still, all right? And then you start like relaxingly slashing your opponent to tiny shreds, and your opponent is like, oh, what is going on with me? Why do I have so many, you know, like those red stripes emerging all over my body? Like, my leg, oh shit, what is that? Why is this happening to me? You know? And then this dude shows something absolutely incredible, my friends. He is showing how to, for example, your enemy is trying to poke you, like poke your stomach, right? You poke your belly with the knife. What do? You use your belly to destroy your enemy, right? Oh my god, it's so good. Like here, this secret technique. Actually, I saw that technique with Ryabko, with that big round guy that we saw earlier. He showed it's in a different video that I'm just too lazy to find because it takes a lot of time, unfortunately. And he's like showing how to block the knife attack with your belly, and the dude is literally holding a knife next to his belly, like pressing it against his belly, and the dude goes like, he turns his body and evades the knife attack. How cool is that? I don't know. I served in police. I had no idea that you can actually do that. Seriously. So here we have this like amazing way to like BAM! You just, I don't know. Maybe he released some deadly gas or something like that, and the dude literally fell down. Basically, Russians eat a lot of shit, and I'm not surprised if they use their biologic weapon as well, because we know that Russians use a lot of like chemical weapons. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's what you do if you go, for example, to the war in Ukraine, and all of a sudden you can see a Ukrainian with the saber. You just swing your saber like that, and Ukrainian just flies away. Yeah, that is why Ukrainians don't carry their sabers nowadays, right? Like those cheaters. Ukrainians are cheaters. Because they just shoot Russians and kill them with drones. But this one is, oh fuck, oh really? And the dude is like wearing, that old Russian camouflage. It's so cliche. Like when you want to see, for example, some very, very cliche, some very cringy Russian, I don't know, like training or whatever, martial arts, this is something you will always see. Like a bunch of people, old, respectable, dude with a beard, who incarnates, who unites in his person both like the spirit of Russian Vitazi, Russian Spetsnaz, Russian Orthodoxy and shit like that, and he like shares his wisdom with those young Russians that look at them like, oh my god, like, wow, what did he just do, it's just so good. I mean, guys, where else will you see something like that? Because in order to see that, you gotta actually go and use Russian language and find that in like RuNet, on a YouTube, on Russian websites. But again, because we're clever people, we usually don't do that. And that is why I am here. To show you what it looks like. Okay. What else do we have? What else do we have to brag about? Yesterday, let's talk about something boring finally. But before we talk about something boring, let's check out the comments, because I'm exhausted from laughing for the first time in many years. What happened to all the 80s ninja camps? Basically, they all moved to Russia, I think. My friend, now you know. Too much vodka. Also, things like dishwashing liquids works too, or like perfumes. If you're Russian, it can work as well. I wonder if Russians paid for this to prepare before entering the military. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, actually they do. Actually, they paid to those grandmasters, and generally speaking, they learn all that stuff. Sometimes, like if they have money, they do. All right. Before the war, when they had more money and they were wealthier, of course, like all of them did that. Like middle level managers would attend those things. People who literally feel lonely and sad and they need more friends and people to talk to, they also go there because there's some kind of company that they can spend time with and stuff. So yeah, but generally, if they need some kind of preparation before, you know, going to Ukraine and dying from a drone attack or something like that, they sometimes consider, you know, like attending those courses. I think that, frankly speaking, Starov is now becoming extremely rich because he now has opportunity to train all sorts of losers and also like people who want to become Russian Spetsnaz and yada yada. So I think that he's becoming extremely rich these days. He's literally sleeping on the pile of money. Team building, yeah, Judge Jimmy, it's like corporate retreat, right? Whew. Before switching to some really good news, really interesting news, I would say, I advise to like catch your breath, all right, because I'm almost dead, all right. I can barely breathe myself. OCT, my friend, so good to see you. Be safe. Oh my God! I want to know who is your favorite freak among all the freaks that we saw today. Tell me what was your favorite one, because my favorite is still Vadim Shlakhter, the dude who was like dancing and slashing a poor tree. Undercover pirate. Hello, my friend. Tell me who was like the most rememberable, all right? Because I want to know. There's definitely gyms training in Russian martial arts in Helsinki, Finland too. Never been to them, but maybe it would be good for laughs. Absolutely. Just like, don't let them fool you, right? Just keep your distance. And the Gunmaster. Oh, fuck. The Gunmaster. Oh, my God. Tschkaryok. Okay, my stomach starts to hurt when I think about it already. All right, the Gunmaster. I will not risk watching that video one more time because that shit might tear me apart. All right, the dude, the gun dancing dude. Fuck, it was hysterical. The tree slashing man. The tree slashing man. Yeah, that. Bridget, you mean the one I fell in love with? Yeah. Oh, we all did, I believe. The gun dancing dude was legendary. Sweet 7433, like the slappers. The slappers, yeah. I would rather say like schleppers. Probably that would be more appropriate name for them. It was good. Oh my God. Whew. And after this, my friends, you just walk outside. You enjoy beautiful weather, you enjoy people walking around, smiling, and you enjoy life because nothing will surprise you anymore, all right? After that, nothing will scare you anymore, all right? Besides the fact that there are people who actually pay them and actually believe in that contactless shit and stuff like that, which, by the way, is extremely dangerous for people on the first place because imagine some kind of person with like low self-esteem, and this person wants to become a bit more confident, and then he goes to those courses, and he's trained contactless combat with like orthodox cross, and then for example this person gets into a real trouble somewhere on the street, and he starts like shooting mind bullets at his enemies that like want to take his phone or something, and he gets literally stabbed, all right? Or for example, he goes like, I warn you, back off or you will die. Like, of course, if you threaten like people like that, of course you might get eliminated yourself, right? And the dudes are like, all right, and they just take the knife. And because Vadim Shlakhter, there was actually a story behind that. One of his students, one of the scammed people that were attending his courses and learning how to become an uber human and stuff like that, he actually died. And one of the Russian bloggers confronted him in front of all other students. He confronted him and he said like, dude, this guy actually died because of you. And I just don't know. I don't know what else to say. Actually, yesterday, before switching off the stream, I wanted to tell you about the amazing thing that we saw in the United States, because United States actually presented something really cool yesterday. They presented a launcher that may actually shoot the Tomahawk missiles, and it was so well timed, this presentation, because this stuff carries 4 Tomahawk missiles in that container and actually can launch all 4 missiles immediately. And let's check out what the media say. Oshkosh ground-based Tomahawk launcher breaks cover. It looks interesting. Let's check out. Let me turn off that stuff for you, my friends. Let's check this out. If you ask me, I am still skeptical about this one, all right? Because we have information that came, like rumor, all right, not a legit information, official, but like rumor coming from some of the sources in the media who refer to some people working somewhere in the United States defense sector, who basically told them that Ukraine might receive maybe 20, maybe 50 Tomahawk missiles, which is kind of nonsense, all right? Because United States have something like several thousands of them, I think less than 5,000 missiles, and if they provided Ukraine at least with 100 or 200 missiles, that would be absolutely devastating for Russia. But do we have more photos? Yes. That would be absolutely devastating for Russia. But I don't see that happening because I don't really believe that they will actually provide Ukraine with those. Is that... that's like a MLRS launcher. Yeah, but this one is interesting. This one is, as I told you several episodes ago, actually, if Ukraine managed to literally attach American missiles to Soviet-built airplanes and use them effectively against Russians, then it's not that impossible to actually use ground-based platforms to launch Tomahawks. And again, the United States were experimenting with them for years, and that's the result. So there is a tiny chance, all right, there is a tiny chance that Ukraine will actually receive some of those, and there is a tiny chance that we will see them used against Russia. but the chance is tiny, my friends, all right? Let's not celebrate yet. Let's be realistic. Let's be optimistic, but realistic as well. Whew. Better put the money in the homegrown missile development, 100%, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. 15, 20, I think rather like 50, according to those rumors. And again, I don't really like spreading rumors because I cannot confirm that information. But the information was about like 20, 50, all right? So half 100, maybe. Okay. With that, my dear friends, why am I screaming so loud? I just noticed that my levels are going absolutely nuts. Guys, please let me know when such things happen, because sometimes I just sound so quiet for some reason. Sometimes it just screams like crazy. My friends, I will be finishing the stream. Thank you so much. It was actually funnier than I anticipated. That Tschkaryok, the gun dancing dude. Oh my god. How can I unsee this? Whew. I already feel hysterical, like, you know, when I imagine this dude. Okay, let's stop. Thank you so much for watching on the first place. It was a great morning with you. It was fun. Also, big thanks to our legendary moderators, Katya. I hope you're feeling well, all right, after that. This question I would really like to address real fast. Couldn't Ukraine make an ICBMs? The problem with that is Ukraine lacks factories producing ICBMs. Producing ICBMs requires much more effort than producing cruise missiles, or even ballistic missiles, because in Russia they have a single factory in the whole Russia. They have a single factory that produces ICBMs, and they can barely make 6 or 10 ICBMs per year. Just so you could imagine, like Russia with all of those resources and stuff like that. So it's much more difficult than you can imagine, and it's literally like space technologies right there. All right, ICBMs are involving space technologies. However, Ukraine announced that we will have space forces very soon. I think we will. Okay, with that, my dear friends, I will go and try to calm myself down with some tea, because that chat nearly killed me, I swear. I hope that your mental health will stay fine after watching that. I bear no responsibility if it could deliver some damage, all right? Because my brain is damaged, I admit. After that fucking gun dance. Oh my god. Whew. See you later, my dear friends. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and also thank you so much for supporting Ukraine, which is even more important than supporting my channel, because it's a proper thing to do. Thank you for being decent. Thank you to our moderators, to all the members, to everyone who donates, and as always, be safe. See you later, and bye-bye.